Genesis is one of my favorite chapters. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, and it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And I'm not quite sure what firmament means, if anybody knows. And God called the firmament heaven. So this must be the sky, I guess. So basically the earth was one big ball of water, and the water was pushed to the bottom, so there was some kind of gravity going on, and then the top was the sky, I guess. And God called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth. And the gathering together of waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth." And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years." And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made stars also. And God said, "Set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And God said, Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created whales, great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly, after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. And God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle, and the creeping thing, and the beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And God made the beast of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Now, unfortunately, some people have interpreted that to mean that they could be cruel to animals. Some people have justified barbaric treatment by saying, well, it's this right here. We're allowed to have dominion. So we have to be careful, because people can misinterpret things, and they'll read things the way they want to read it so they can justify their own behaviors. It doesn't say, do whatever you want, who cares? And later on in the Bible, we'll read about how being mean to animals isn't a good thing. Although there is some things in the Bible that did disturb me, and I don't understand, and I do pray, and I ask God, and it's okay to ask God if you don't understand something. I ask God all the time when I don't understand things like animal sacrifice. I don't get it. I feel bad for the animals, but I digress. And I do definitely pray about stuff like that, because I think part of being discerning means that we have to read things, and if we don't understand, we can't just pretend that we understand. We can't just follow and not think, because that's not smart. That's dangerous. And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. So at this point, they were vegetarians. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day, and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. Okay. In this passage, Abraham is pleading for Sodom. God wants to destroy Sodom because there's a lot of evil going on in this city. People are getting molested. People are getting raped. The animals aren't safe. No one's safe. And I believe Abraham's nephew Lot is living there. And poor Lot chose the wrong place to live, obviously. And Abraham is pleading to God, so this lets me know it's okay to ask God questions and to say, hey, wait a second. Because Abraham talks to God, and let's see, so let's read it. Abraham pleads for Sodom. And the men rose up from thence, and looked towards Sodom. And the men, I think those are the angels that are supposed to go down to Sodom and destroy it, basically. And Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham the thing which I do? I think God might be one of the ones that's actually there. I'm not sure. Let's find out. Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him, and he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him. And the Lord said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because of their sin is very grievous, I will go down now, and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me, and if not, I will know. And the men turned their faces from thence, and went towards Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before the Lord. And Abraham drew near, and said, wilt thou destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy, and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked, that be far from thee? Shall not the judge of all earth do right? And the Lord said, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. And Abraham answered and said, Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which am but dust and ashes. Peradventure, there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5? And he said, If I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. And he spake unto him yet again, Abraham speaking to God yet again, and said, Peradventure, there shall be 40 found there. And he, God, said, I will not do it for 40's sake. And he said unto him, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure, there shall be 30 be found there. And he, God, said, I will not do it, if I find 30 there. And he said, Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord. Peradventure, there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And he said, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet this once. Yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. And the Lord went away as soon as he had left communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned unto his place. Now, Sodom and Gomorrah is a really evil place. Unfortunately, Lot lives there. Lot is Abraham's nephew. And the 2 angels Lot invited the angels to his house. Lot invited the angels to his house. I think here's where they... Sodom and Gomorrah destroyed. And there came 2 angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them. And he bowed himself with his face toward the gate. And he said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house. So he's invited them to his house. And tarry all night, and wash your feet. And ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed them upon them greatly. And they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. So Lot's being a good neighbor, and he's inviting these people in to his house, and he's worried if they stay out in the street, they're going to meet trouble, because that's a really violent place, and I don't know how Lot even survived in that place for as long as he did. Before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. And when that's referring to the way when they say know them, that is it's not getting to know them in a good way. They want to rape them. And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him. And he said, I pray you, brethren, do not do so wickedly. Behold now, and this part horrifies me. Behold now, I have 2 daughters, which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing. For therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. And they said, Stand back. And they said again, This one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them? And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. They didn't want Lot's daughters. They want the two visitors. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut to the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. And the men said unto Lot, Hast thou here any besides, son-in-law, and thy sons and thy daughters? And whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxen great before the face of the Lord. And the Lord hath sent us to destroy it. At this point, Lot doesn't know they were angels. Okay, let's move that blanket down so I can see. Let's see, where am I? And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law. And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife, and thy two daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his two daughters, and the Lord being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth, and set him without the city. So I guess the husbands didn't just said, Sure, you're going to destroy the city, we're not going anywhere. So they didn't listen. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, Escape for thy life. That's what the angels say. Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. And Lot said unto them, O not so, my lord. Behold, thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me and I die. Behold now, this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. O let me escape thither. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live. And he, the angel, said unto him, See, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, which I will not overthrow this city, for the which thou hast spoken. Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou be come thither. Therefore the name of the city was called Zoar. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife, Lot's wife, looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abraham gat up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord, and he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward all the land of the plain, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass, when God destroyed the cities of the plain, that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot had dwelt.